All right, boys and girls, it's week 14. That means it's playoff time in your fantasy football leagues. And I'm guessing if you're watching this video, you're in the playoffs and you're in need of some help. First and foremost, talk lots of trash. There's no such thing as karma in fantasy football. If you're going to go out talking the trash. Play like a winner, act like a winner, talk trash like a winner. Yeah, let your leagues know that you are going to dominate them. Don't go in there going, hey, you got a good team. I might not win. Nobody likes a wishy washy guy. Own it. Make this league yours. Don't go in like the underdog. It's fantasy football. Talk that trash. Don't be afraid. Let your opponent know you're bringing shock and awe. The thunder, even. All right? That's my tip to you. This fantasy football season, be the champion. To be the man, you got to beat the man. Throw out every cliche winning WWE catchphrase you can because, baby, this is your league. You got me on your side. All right, let's start out with this week's matchups. It is very fantasy friendly. There are a couple shaky little matchups, especially if you have a Philadelphia Eagle or two on your team. But other than that, very, very clean cut, exciting, fantasy happy matchups. You have your Thursday night game, Dallas and Chicago. Chicago doesn't even have a defense. I don't even know why they filled it. They should just say, you know what? We'll automatically award 7 points to the offense. Dallas, listen, if you're going up against Murray, I feel bad for you. I'm sorry. Des Bryant, uh, hopefully you got another fantasy matchup and you're not relying on Jeremy Maclin, okay? But don't worry. We got some Alshon Jeffrey news coming up, but on the flip side, I look for Cutler to have a decent day. He started out the Thanksgiving Day games having a nice little first half and slowed up very considerably against the Detroit Lions. So don't be afraid of this matchup if you have anyone on either one of these teams. Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. Keep an eye on the Jeremy Hill, Giovanni Bernard split. I'll have more. You can follow me on Twitter at Dennis77Farrell. I will have more on what I project the carries to be, but I do believe Jeremy Hill is a great flex option still. Indy at Cleveland. We have Brian Hoyer news. By the way, he's going to be the starting quarterback in this matchup. But I like the matchup for both guys. Keep an eye on whether Jordan Cameron comes back or not. If he does this week, and I will have more info Sunday, he is an instant start to me. Tampa Bay at Detroit, Houston at Jacksonville, Baltimore at Miami, the Jets at Minnesota, Carolina at New Orleans. I have Cam Newton. He laid an egg last time out against New Orleans, I think 12 fantasy points. I think upwards to 17 or 19 fantasy points in standard leagues for Cam in this matchup. The Giants at Tennessee, St. Louis at Washington. I won't make any jokes there, okay? Kansas City at Arizona, Buffalo at Denver. You have San Francisco at Oakland, Seattle at Philly. This is one of these matchups that I'm not excited about if I'm a Philadelphia owner of McCoy, anybody on that team, especially Jeremy Maclin. You can't sit him, but I wouldn't expect anywhere close to his projected totals in this matchup. New England, San Diego, and the Monday night game is Atlanta, Green Bay, which will be a fantasy fest. I love Julio Jones in this matchup, Roddy White in this matchup. I like Steven Jackson in this matchup. St. Louis guys know who he is very well. On the other side of the ball, give me some Eddie Lacy. Finally he's looking like a fantasy option. I like that a lot. So, I'm going up against Jordy Nelson. I'm a little worried about that, but hopefully I have enough fantasy points stacked up that might pay off. All right. It's time for some fantasy news, and after that, I'll definitely get to some waiver wire pickups if you need them. Larry Fitzgerald has returned to practice. He should play this Sunday. Dwayne Allen is back at practice. You know what that means? If you have Coby Fleener, I would worry. I may not start him. I would start Dwayne Allen right out the bat, but that will affect Coby Fleener's value going forward. He was a good fantasy option while Allen was out. Alshon Jeffries, he's listed as questionable. I think he plays Thursday, but keep an eye on this. He's been bothered by the back, the ankle, this and that. But if he does play, he will have a big day. I project at least 2 touchdowns. 75 yards, and 11 catches. So keep an eye there. Isaiah Crowell, he's been dealing with a hip injury. Cleveland hopes that he will play. I definitely doubt it. Terrence West is definitely a must pick up if Crowell is out. Keep an eye on that. They should have it out probably about 11 Eastern, 10:30 Eastern Standard Times before the games. I will definitely, like I said, follow me on Twitter. I will have that injury updated news. Brian Hoyer will start Week 14, which means Josh Gordon. I love him a lot. Andre Ellington is going to be a true game time call. I don't know which way to lean. We thought he was going to miss a ton of time with the foot injury. He never did. So if I were to guess, I would guess he will play. But anything can happen. They could try to preserve him for a playoff push. And the two guys that could replace him are not fantasy options whatsoever. I'm not even going to give you their names to protect you from that poor decision that you could be going forward with. CJ Spiller could return Week 16. Keep an eye on him, depending on how that Buffalo running game looks. He might be back in and getting some snaps. Colin Kaepernick could be benched. There's some rumblings out there. I'm not sold on that idea of him being benched, but if he does, that could affect everybody in the lineup. I couldn't even. I think it's Blaine Gabbert is the backup there. I would bench every wide receiver and tight end if you have any San Francisco guys going forward. All right, couple waiver wire pickups for you guys. Ryan Fitzpatrick, if you need a quarterback, is a must pick up. A great matchup at Jacksonville after throwing 5 touchdowns. I love that a lot. Andre Williams is a must pick up with Rashard Jennings being banged up and hurt. Doug Martin, he's looking good. Got a touchdown and 50-something yards last week. Go pick him up. Jonathan Stewart, Pierre Thomas. I love Pierre Thomas. They're starting to get him back in, and he's been kind of over-reliable. Wide receivers, Jarvis Landry from Miami is a great pickup this week. He's just a catching machine, and you need to add him on your team, especially in PPR leagues. Charles Johnson has become the clear-cut favorite in Minnesota as far as wide receivers and has been getting all the production. Other than that, Jordan Reed, who had a breakout game after coming back from an injury from Washington, if you need a tight end. And defenses, Packers, Vikings, Saints, and Ravens are my top waiver wire pickups of the week. All right, guys, good luck in Week 14. Hopefully you will advance into the playoffs. If not, I guess I'll see you next year. That's the best I can do. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter at Dennis77Farrell. If you're on Facebook and not Twitter, you're one of those people like, why do I join Twitter? That's not for me. Shoot me a friend request at Dennis77 or Dennis Farrell, Farrell, and I will accept it. We can be Facebook friends. Go get ice cream, maybe bike ride, tandem bikes. That's how I roll, baby. And anywhere else, if you have a fantasy question and you're not on any social media, shoot me an email at Dennis77Farrell at gmail.com. I would love to answer any and all of your fantasy questions. And as always, guys, good luck. Hopefully you're out to win that trophy. If not, hopefully your league is not lame. Go to fantasyjocks.com. You can pick up some great championship rings, kind of like this beauty. I have to plug them because they did help sponsor the Dave Glover Show podcast league with an amazing belt. So, you can win the belt. You can win anything, if you go over there. Great affordable prices. Last plug of the show. All right, guys, good luck. And as always, Hell Hydra.